Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 141. Feels a bit weird being back on YouTube. Obviously, it's been a few days, but it's usually every other day. But it will be pretty much every other day, especially with all the fixtures coming up. We're going to be doing a Hatter Show again the day after Newcastle, because obviously we don't want to do it on Christmas, and then obviously we got a game on Boxing Day, so it's going to be a bit hectic. Then we got obviously a watch along coming up to Chelsea, Burnley as well next month, and also in February there'll be another watch along as it stands as well, as we take on Man United at home. That has been released yesterday as a 4:30 kickoff. So yeah, a lot of watch alongs coming up as well. But yeah, obviously two things in this one. Obviously, we won't touch on the Bournemouth game, obviously, rightly so. But we will give an update on Lockyer. An update come out yesterday. And then, obviously, we will be getting into the Newcastle game. So, yeah, like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Excellent, mate. You?
Yeah, all good. All good. It's good to be back here. Do you know what I mean? Doing a Hat Show. But, yeah, let's get into it. So, like I say, the first thing I want to talk about is the Lockyer situation. Obviously, it's come out yesterday. The club has done an announcement about what's been going on with him the last couple of days. We're thankful to report that our captain, Tom Lockyer, has now begun a period of rehabilitation. I can't usually say it, from the comfort of his own home after his discharge from hospital on Wednesday. The encouraging news follows a successful procedure that took place on Tuesday, whereby Tom had an ICD, which is an implantable cardioverter defibrillator device fitted to prevent a repeat of Saturday's incident. The club, Tom, and the Lockyer family would like to take this opportunity to repeat our collective heartfelt thanks to all at Bournemouth, their supporters, club officials, and especially their medical staff, and midfielder Philip Billing, who was the first to reach Tom on the pitch. Supported by the actions of Bournemouth's medical team and local paramedics, it was ultimately the protocols installed and professional actions of our own medical staff that gave Tom this chance to recover, and to whom we are thankful. Lovely picture there of him and Diaz, obviously, when we took on Liverpool. Naturally, the events that unfolded last weekend surprised and shocked everyone witnessing it. Together with Sporting Chance via the Premier League, the club is in the process of providing care for those who may be affected by any distress caused. The clinical advice Tom and the club has taken since the Championship Player Final has been conducted by the most renowned cardiologists, I believe that says, who have been involved at every step, along with a team of supporting multidisciplinary consultants. We can now confirm that the tests taken this week had revealed that the issue Tom experienced on Saturday was different to the one he obviously suffered in May. Tom, his family, and the club would like to thank everyone in the football family who have sent messages of concern and love. The level of support has been overwhelming. We're so proud to have Locks as our captain, and his leadership will continue from the sidelines, where his courage will inspire his teammates, colleagues, and supporters starting on Saturday. So, obviously, that's very good to hear. He's back at home, and all of that sort of thing. And it was horrible to see. Especially a lot of us as Luton fans. Obviously, we've witnessed it before as well. To see it again, was obviously awful. But obviously, the stuff that's come out. Like I say, it's a different situation to obviously what occurred. Obviously in the playoff final, and hopefully what they've helped him with will prevent it from happening, depending on obviously what his future plans are, but just in general as well. But yeah, it's good to hear. It's good to hear and all of that. But Dad, anything you'd like to add on this?
Yeah, obviously, like it was shocking. It's not nice to see. I didn't actually see it. Obviously, I was out at the time, so I was checking on like flash scores, and I saw that we went winning up. Like yes, and then they equalised. I was kind of waiting for that, and then match interrupted for ages. So I knew that something serious was occurring, whether it be a crowd, whether a serious injury. So just loaded up Facebook. So yeah, not very nice. As you said, thankfully he's on the mend. It's okay. It's a different situation to Wembley. You know, it's in a lot of ways, obviously. He's had the procedure, I believe, probably by the same guy or team that operated on Christian Eriksen. He's got the same mechanism, shall we say, to prevent it happening again. Potentially play for us again, but you know, his safety, his family, and his health, all of that is paramount, comes before anything. He'll always be a legend in Luton's eyes, and I'm sure he'll be given an opportunity, you know, coaching or involved in some sort of way, regardless of what happens. And you know, what a player, what a leader, and what a man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, you think of some of the, you know, memorable goals and moments he's had for us already. You know, there's a couple that I can think of from the top of my head. You know, Bristol City, where we played them midweek. You know, we won 2-1 and he scored. You know, that was brilliant. Obviously, the standout one is obviously the well, there's two actually. You could have a little debate. You could say the Premier League away win versus Everton, because that was, you know, obviously making history, or you could say the semi-final goal that he got in the playoff second leg. But yeah, what a guy, you know, what a warrior, you know, and you know, some of the stuff, you know, the tackles he's, you know, put in, and you know, just some of the stuff he sees. I remember like when he last went to Bournemouth before that, he had a cut, didn't he, all the way down his face, and you know, he still play. You know, what a guy, you know, what a guy he is. So yeah, glad that he's, you know, in a much better position for sure. But let's go through some comments. Big up to Billy. He says, my thoughts are with Tom as a Chelsea fan. Yeah, big up to yourself, mate. Big up to Jamie. He'll definitely be tuning in. He's a regular anyway, but he'll definitely be tuning in to the on the 24th, and obviously on the Boxing Day, the vlog from home. He'll be tuning into that as well, I'm sure. But yeah, we're all good, mate. I hope you're all good as well. Big up to Harry. Obviously, I was watching the game with him. He says, me and you watched the game, man, our hearts just sank, and we knew it was Tom as soon as it happened. So sad, was just so terrible. Just glad he's okay. Yeah, no, it was awful. You know, it was absolutely awful to see, and yeah, it just weren't great. You know, especially when Rob Edwards was saying, like, as soon as he come on to the pitch, I just knew it wasn't great, and I just, you know, because you know, us as Luton fans, we saw it against obviously in the playoff final. You know, I sort of had that feeling it was him again. I didn't quite see the challenge at real time, but yeah, Luton were playing really well till that moment as well. But it was really good how everyone dealt with the situation, and players, managers, fans, especially Rob Edwards, when getting everyone off the pitch. Yeah, that was very emotional. You know, seeing Rob Edwards clap around the whole of the Vitality. But shout out to the Bournemouth fans as well. You know, obviously Billing as well. Obviously the first one to notice it, and you know, their fans obviously singing the Tommy Lockyer song. That was a brilliant moment. So big up to them for that. And obviously that game's been rescheduled, which obviously it was going to be, and it's going to be, you know, from 0-0 again, which again I expected that. So that's going to be a bit of an emotional game for both sets of fans and that sort of thing. But yeah, just glad he's in a much better position. But yeah, moving on to the game tomorrow. We are back at home. Obviously, we take on Newcastle. Now, Newcastle obviously did play midweek as well. I watched that game again. They were good for most of the game. You know, obviously they took on Chelsea away, quarter-final. They went 1-0 up. You know, obviously, you know, poor from Chelsea defensively, but Callum Wilson capitalised on it. And I thought, you know, the first half they were the better team. I thought the second half Chelsea were better. I'm not going to lie. I felt they were putting, you know, a bit of pressure on them. But then Trippier again. I think that's 4 out of 4 mistakes for him now. You know, a lot of games I've watched recently, he's had a mistake. You know, he done it there. Chelsea scored, and then the penalty shootout. Obviously, Newcastle missed 2 penalties. He missed the first one for them, and they went out. You know, so they're obviously on the back of a loss. They went into, you know, more than 90 minutes as well. So, that could benefit us. And they're very poor away. They're very poor away this season. They're 16th when it comes to away form. At home, obviously, we've been very unlucky, in majority of the games, especially the ones against the top end teams. Obviously, narrowly lost to Arsenal. Unfortunate really. Liverpool very unlucky not to win. City, for me they just stepped up and we struggled a little bit, but still, we put up a very good game, went 1-0 up against them. So, we're at home, with their injuries as well. As it currently stands, and this is most likely they've got 10 injuries, and there's even a couple more on they're having a chance of being injured as well. So I think it's a good time to play Newcastle. Obviously, they did get knocked out of Europe as well, completely. Obviously, no Europa League. So they're not really, on at the greatest moment at this moment in time. If we was going to St James's Park, which, funny enough, we're actually not that long away going there, I wouldn't be as confident because they are good at home. They're similar to, obviously, Villa are better than them. Obviously, like if Villa win tonight and Liverpool obviously draw with Arsenal, Villa will go top for Christmas. But they're similar in Villa in the way, in the sense of they're very good at home. It's hard not to back them at home, but away they're not great. Obviously, Villa aren't as bad away, but still, it's similar in that sense. So I think it's a good opportunity and a good time to at least get some sort of result against Newcastle in this one. But yeah, a bit of insight going into it. Obviously, we still sit 18th. If we do win and Forest don't, obviously they're taking on Bournemouth, we will be 2 points behind. So we still will be in that relegation zone, unfortunately. As for Newcastle, even if they win, they will still be in 6th place. They're currently 6th, a point behind Tottenham. So yeah, and then the other insight going into it, this is the only the second meeting between Luton and Newcastle in any competition this century, with the Magpies winning 3-1 in an FA Cup third round tie in January 2018. I think we brought 7,000 fans, if I'm correct, to that, or 7,500, something like that. I do briefly remember that game. Danny Hilton scored. I know that, so that was a good moment, and we actually made a really good account of ourselves despite the score. It was one of them FA Cup games where, we didn't obviously win, but we showed what we're all about, So yeah, the last league meeting between Luton and Newcastle was in January 1993 in the second tier, a goalless draw. The Hatters haven't scored in their last 5 league games against the Magpies since a 4-0 top flight win in November 1987. Newcastle are unbeaten in their last 16 Premier League games against promoted sides, winning 9, drawing 7. Since a 2-1 home loss to Leeds in January 2021, they've won both such games this season by an aggregate score of 10-0. Luton have only failed to score in one of their 8 Premier League home games this season, which was the 1-0 defeat to Tottenham in October. The Hatters have dropped points from winning positions in 3 of their last 4 home games, drawing 1-1 with Liverpool, and obviously the 4-3 loss to Arsenal and the 2-1 to City. And then the last one on this section, Newcastle have won just one of their last 10 Premier League away games, though that was an 8-0 victory against newly promoted Sheffield United in September. They've lost their last 3 in a row on the road, last losing more consecutively in December/January in 2020-21, which was 5. And then a bit more going into it, regarding, how Rob Edwards is saying, a bit more about Newcastle and obviously the team news going into it. Obviously, about Newcastle, former Bournemouth manager Eddie Howe arrived at St James's Park after being appointed by their new Saudi Arabian consortium in November 2021. The Magpies steered themselves away from the relegation zone by the end of the 2021-22 season before their first top 4 finish last season in 2 decades. Yeah, what a brilliant achievement that was. Newcastle won just one of their last 10 Premier League away games, which was the 8-0, obviously, like I said. The away side are unbeaten in their last 16 Premier League games against promoted sides since the 2-1 home loss to Leeds, obviously, like I said. Words from Rob Edwards going into it. We'll expect the best version of Newcastle as we always do. I know they've had a lot of games and had injury problems, as a lot of teams have, which has been well documented. I have the utmost respect for Eddie Howe and what he's done, not just at Newcastle, but before in his career. What he's done at this football club has been incredible with these players. They're exceptionally good and they run hard, so we'll be expecting a really tough game on Saturday. Apologies if you can hear that. That is the buzzer. Team news going into it. So it's quite interesting this week. So obviously, because obviously the Bournemouth game was abandoned, and Nakamba, his yellow cards, obviously the 5 yellow card thing will be carrying on going into this game, unfortunately. And then players that are going to be available. Anderson, obviously, he's been on the bench recently. Chio, of course, and Osho. Again, they've all been, involved in the squad the last couple of games, whether that's been on the bench or starting. And then this is an interesting one about Woodrow, as he has reached full fitness again. He was in contention for Bournemouth last week, but he was not selected for the 20-man squad. So he might be tomorrow. I've got a feeling he might be. But yeah, the referee for this one will be Darren England. 56 yellow cards and 1 red card has been handed out by England across his 10 games this season. Luton last had a game ran by him when we visited Ewood Park to face Blackburn Rovers towards the end of the last season. Obviously, the 1-1 draw. Assistant referees Neil Davies and Darren Cann. 4th official Anthony Taylor. VAR Peter Banks and assistant VAR Nick Greenhalgh, I think that says. But yeah, that's all of that going into that. After saying all of that, I've said my thoughts, how I feel going into it. Dad, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's the right time to play them. They've got a lot of injuries. Eddie Howe's done it obviously very well throughout his career. Like I said before, when we got the -30, they had -17. I think he was the manager then. He managed to get them out of that and take them all the way to the Premier League's similar stadium to us, etc., etc. You know what I mean? It's very similar, but I think our time is coming. Do you know what I mean? I think we need to go on a little bit of a run if we're going to fight. Inadvertently, the Lockyer situation is probably going to make or break us, but I think it's going to make us. We've got an excellent record against them. I think it's the right time to play them. They've got loads of key players out. I can't see us not scoring. I can actually see us, if we play against Liverpool, the other teams, everyone pretty much at home, let's be honest, apart from maybe Burnley. But even then, we did play pretty well. So it's the right time to play them. So, and also another reason is Graham Jones.
Yeah.
See the stuff he was coming out with at the time when he was manager was willing to give anyone a chance, but he started coming out with loads of nonsense like. When we played Nottingham Forest, it's like, these are like former European champions. Yeah, they are, but a long, long time ago. In its current time, they're not. We're in the same division as them now. We've got a draw against them. We had a player on loan. We had a lot of players, even players now that we still got in the squad. Very, for instance, and we had a player on loan, Izzy Brown. He got injured. He looked good for a couple of games that he come on, but no, he's definitely not our best loan. Dewsbury Hall's been our best loan player over the last couple of seasons. He's nowhere near that level. And he come out without Izzy Brown, we're going to be fighting relegation and this, that. He just didn't have the right attitude for Luton. So that recruitment was a bit, and he's not a manager, I don't think. I think he's a very good coach. He's been in and around stuff, but as a manager, as a man manager, as a club manager, he's got a lot to learn, and maybe he's learning that. But yeah, that as well, that would be like full circle. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout. Like you say, with Graham Jones as well, he clearly is. I've always said it. He clearly is a good coach. I've said it numerous times on the channel because you look at where he's been around. Like you say, Newcastle, England. He's even been in the England setup. I know our manager ain't great, but still international stage and that sort of thing. representing your country and that sort of thing, so it clearly is. It's just, manager is a completely different thing, as we all know. But yeah, I'm going to read out their injury list as it stands, right? Apparently, these are players that will not play. So let's go on to it. So Elliot Anderson, funny enough, we've been linked with him a lot of times, over the seasons. Harvey Barnes, he's obviously a new signing for them. Joe Linton, which is massive because, since he's been, playing in midfield, since Eddie Howe's put him in midfield, I think he's been absolutely phenomenal. I think when he originally was up front, I just don't think he really cut it. Manquillo, Jacob Murphy, Pope, obviously their main keeper, as we all know, England international. Fabian Schär, which again is massive. He's one of their main, defenders. Matt Targett, Tonali, obviously got suspended for the betting incident. And then Joe Willock, which again, I forgot that guy even played. He's been out for that long. I remember when last season he was brilliant for them. He's scoring vital goals and that sort of thing. And then these are questionable players. Gordon, obviously that could be massive for us because he's looked very good. If I was to do a team of the season for the Premier League, I'd probably put him in, to be honest with you. Isaac is also, questionable, which again, I think that's more than likely because we haven't really seen him at the moment. Anyway, obviously it's been Callum Wilson, hasn't it? And then Emil Kraft. So they've got a lot of injuries. We've only got 4 compared to that. Technically 3 because the Woodrow one's questionable, like I say. So it's a good time. It is a good time for me to play him. Big up to Paul. He says, "Evening, T-boys. Big up to yourself, mate." Jackie's put in a prediction, so I'll get into that shortly. Same with the others. Do get in your predictions. But what we're going to go into now is, of course, the lineups. What would we play going into this one against Newcastle? Now, right, for me, I'm going to say obviously Kaminsky in goal. It goes without saying. The back 3, I'm going to say it's going to be Bell on the left, which, to be fair, I thought in the Bournemouth game, that was probably the best I've ever seen him in that left centre-back role. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Or, if it weren't his best time in that position for us, ever, it definitely wasn't the Premier League. I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to go... Now, this is the thing. I don't know who's going to be in the middle. So my back 3 is Bell, Osho, and Menji, but I just don't know who's going to be in the middle of that. I'm going to put Osho in the middle of it, and then I'm going to put Menji on the right side of that. The midfield, obviously, it's not going to be Nakamba. I'm going to go Barkley and Lokonga. The only difference is there might be the other way around, and I reckon they probably will be. So I'll go with it like that. There's that. And then the left wing back, I'm going to go with Doughty. There's a bit of speculation that he might be out for this one, but, like I said, on the build-up, it didn't say anything about it. Obviously had a little moment when he come off, but I think he'll be all right, to be honest. And then on the right side, it's probably going to be Kabore. And I saw this thing, if Kabore gets one more yellow card, he's going to be in the same situation as Nakamba's currently in. Where he's going to obviously be suspended. So try not to get card, Kabore, please. And then the front 3, essentially, I'm going to go... You got to go Elijah for me. Obviously scored in the Bournemouth game. Obviously if that game was to go all the way, you would have broke a record. I don't know if the record probably doesn't, but obviously he's scored 3 consecutive games in the top flight. Last person to do that was Mick Harford in 1992. So a shout out to Elijah for that. So I'm going to go with him up front, and then next to it, I'm going to go with... I'll start off with the right side. I'm going to go Townsend. Now, left side, I'm flickering. I'm not going to lie. I'm flickering between Brown and Chio. I'm probably going to go Chio in this one. Yeah. Because Brown, I thought he was okay against Man City. Well, no, he's better than okay. He's getting stuck in. He played really well. But Bournemouth, it was similar to what I saw previously when he had their moments where he wasn't really doing an awful lot for me. So I'm going to go Chio. Chio possesses that threat near enough every game. the only game I can think that he didn't was Brentford, but again, no one was really great in that game. Let's be honest. So that's what I'm going to go with when it comes to that for my lineup. So Kaminsky in goal, back three of Bell, Osho, Menji. The two CDMs, I'm going to go Lokonga and Barkley. Doughty on the left, Kabore on the right, and then the three up front. I'm going to go Chio on the left, Townsend on the right, and Elijah up front. Any changes you'd make to that, Dad?
Yeah, I'll show mine. Similar. Give me a second.
No worries. Yeah, do get in your score predictions, people, if you haven't already. Obviously, Harry and Jackie have so far. Obviously, I'll go through them once we've done ours.
Computer's being a pain. Give me a second.
That's all right. Yeah, obviously, smash a like as well, people. Do subscribe if you're new. Do subscribe to the other channel as well. And big up, there he is. Geordie's here. There you go, Dad. Your lineups up.
Right, so yeah, can you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kaminsky. Obviously, we know Loxley's not going to be playing. So I was similar to you with the defence, but do you know what? I'm putting Anderson there because I feel like he's scored for us already. He's played well earlier on. Till he got that injury, he was pretty good. Yeah, he ain't played a lot, but I feel he's better in that central position probably than Osho and Menji are. So I'm bringing him in. Especially while Burke's out as well. I think he's gonna do pretty well for us. So yeah, Doughty left. If he is injured, then Giles or Bell, actually, probably Bell. We'll see. Kabore on the right, and then Barkley, Lokonga for me. Even though I've heard some interesting news about Lokonga. Townsend on the right. Brown, I'm going to stick with Brown. It says I want to put Chio in, but I just think that at home, after the last performance, maybe Brown deserves it. And if he isn't cutting it, then we've got Chio ammunition on the bench, and then Elijah to give him that chance, obviously, and I think he will this week to score 3 consecutive Premier League games. I think he will. So yeah, that's it for me. What I did hear about Lokonga was potentially that we're not going to renew his loan in January. We're going to send him back to Arsenal, which was quite interesting. I'm thinking more. Yeah, he hasn't played a lot. Maybe we're feeling that we're going to cover it a different way in the midfield. Now that we've seen Barkley can do that job as well potentially, and we're freeing up that space for maybe another centre back or maybe a striker. That's the way I'm feeling. It's just a rumour I've seen, so we'll see. But it kind of does make sense in a little way. I know like other people saying about Kabore, but the thing is with Kabore, we haven't got anyone else there, so it doesn't make sense. I can kind of see it. Unfortunately for him, but I do think he'll start tomorrow. If we play him in the next couple of games and he smashes it, then yeah. But I've just got a feeling that could be the case, and it kind of does make sense because really, unfortunately, he got injured, but he hasn't really done anything for us, has he? To be honest, so.
No, he hasn't.
As the bench to give their all. No, it's not his fault, but would give their all to the club and that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a bit of that. We probably feel that we potentially don't need him in midfield, and we might be looking at, especially with the signing of Townsend as well. So yeah.
No, I could see it. Depending as well on what obviously happens defensively, because we do get a lot of injuries as well defensively. Obviously the Potts thing, I think we'll probably free that up potentially in January, maybe. Depending on his injury, because no one's going to sign him if he's injured, are they? So I could see that, and like you say, Barkley can play there. We've seen that, so we'll see. It'd be interesting. could also maybe even be freeing it up, maybe not even for a defender, maybe for another attacker. So it's all interesting. But it's good in a way that we've seen that Barkley can play there, because then it's making them think and decide what to do in that sense. But yeah, good to play against you guys. Yeah, big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. Your away form is crap. Yeah, I know, mate. Like I said, 16th, and I feel we need to try and capitalise on that, especially with all your injuries as well. A win would be great for us, to be honest, but excited to see us play at Kenilworth Road. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Big up, Billy. I did read your comment at the start, mate. Appreciate that. But he's at home now, which is obviously good to hear. But Dad, is that time? We'll be watching it together. Do you know what I mean? We'll be back again with a vlog from home. I mean, we've got a couple of them coming up. What is your score prediction? Like I say, feeling confident. Kenilworth Road, 3 p.m. kickoff against Newcastle United.
Yeah, we've got a good record. Like, I just feel like their injuries are going to catch up with them properly. They are kind of anyway, but I think this is going to catch up with them more. We're going to be right at it. I fully expect us to be right at it, especially with the Tom Lockyer situation and that. We've got an excellent record. It's the right time to play them. I just think that we're going to be on it. I'm not going to quite say we're going to get our first clean sheet yet, though, because they've still got some quality in there. And I've got a feeling that Gordon might actually play as well. So, but I am actually going to go with, I think we're going to go on a good run as well to climb up a little bit. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Luton Town win.
Jeez, I love that. 3-1, that would be brilliant. That would be absolutely brilliant. I was flickering between one or two things. Like I say, I'm feeling like it's a good time to play Newcastle. Like I say, the injuries, they're very poor away. Like I say, 16th in the whole league when it comes to away form. I was flickering between a 2-1 victory, similar to the Palace game, in the sense of the victory and how it is, sort of thing. Might get a late on winner. Or I was thinking goals, a 2-2 draw. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw, which, again, it would be decent. Obviously, we do need to, get some more points, ideally a win, because, obviously the gap there's a tiny bit of a gap. But, yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think there might be goals in this one. But, let's go through your comments and predictions and that. I'm going 1-1. I wouldn't be shocked if Luton win. Newcastle's injuries will affect now, I think. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree with that. For sure, I think, especially defensively, like you say, Dad, up front, they still got, quality. Obviously, Wilson, is doing well for them. Almiron, I didn't read his name out, did I? He's a very good player. I've always rated him as well. So they still got them threats. Gordon, like I say, is questionable, but I could see him playing as well, to be honest. Billy says he likes the confidence. Yeah, so do I. I love that. Love that. But yeah, let's go through the other predictions. Harry says you're defo playing Newcastle at the right time. Even though I've predicted a 1-1 on Prem predictions for you that you do, mate, I could see 2-1 to you lot. Yeah, that's similar to me, but with 2-2 and 2-1 to us, in that sense. That'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant. High Tide does. I think we'll win this game 2-1. So again, another 2-1. Jackie's come in with it. One players, supporters will be all up for this game. Yeah, no, of course. Obviously, in the 4th minute as well. Obviously, we'll be clapping and all of that for Lockyer as well. So obviously, we'll join in with that as well. And a big up to Paul again. Another 2-1. 2-1 is a popular prediction. I like this. But you probably wouldn't have said this a couple of weeks ago, especially if Newcastle still, obviously if they were still in the Champions League, you'd probably say a draw at best. So it's good to see this. So hopefully we do get some sort of result. I know it's Newcastle, I know they're a good side, but in a way I will be a bit disappointed if we don't get nothing. Because I think if there's a good time to play them and try and get something, it's now. Like I said, there's 10 players that are definitely going to be out. So come on, all right. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But yeah, any final things you'd like to say about anything at all, Dad?
Yeah, goal scorers.
Oh yeah, of course. I always forget them at the moment. Yeah,
Uh,
your goal scorers, your 3 goal scorers.
yeah, Elijah, Barkley, and Brown.
Brown, that'd be nice. Similar to Palace in that sense. That'd be nice. I'm gonna say it's hard not to say Elijah at the moment. Like I say, technically he got 3 out of 3. So, and even if you don't count the Bournemouth game in that sense, he got 2 out of 2, against Arsenal and Man City as well. So for me, I'm going to go Elijah and yeah, I'm going to say Barkley as well. I was a little bit gutted with him, in the Bournemouth game when obviously leading to their goal, but obviously you're not going to get into that game. But yeah, that's that. That is that. That is the Hatter Show episode 141. Anything else you want to say, Dad? Or is that it?
No, that's it. We're looking forward to the boxing as well tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one with that because it says it starts at like 4 p.m. Is there that many fights?
Yeah. Well, they'll build our chat for a couple of hours, an hour and a half, then they'll have a couple of little. That's all it is. But yeah, it's going to be some good fights there. All of them are good fights, and anything can happen in any of them fights. Trust me. So
yeah, there's probably like 4 that I mainly want to see. The Bivol, I can never say the guy's name, but him, I've seen him fight a few times. He's quite good. Obviously, the Dubois Miller one, I want to see that one, and then obviously the other 2, whichever one wants to see, Wilder, Parker, and Anthony Joshua Wallin. But yeah, Dad, do you want to give you quick predictions on that to the people that are interested in boxing?
I think Miller beats Dubois. I think that's going to happen.
You reckon? I'm going to go Dubois. On
that. Wilder will struggle initially, but get the KO against.
I agree on that.
Joshua. See, I'm not too sure. I think he's really pushy. He's going to come out dangerous, but I think he's going to realise he's up against a very good fighter. I don't know. Something tells me that one's going to be controversial. I'm going to go Joshua to get the win, but it's going to be controversial. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it could very well be. A lot of fights you've seen recently have had that little. Obviously, the Usyk one was a little bit, it's 50-50 split opinions, so we could see it. I'm going to say, I'm going to say Joshua just. I think Wallin will do very well. You remember what he done to Tyson Fury.
He will.
We all know.
Lost.
What's that, sorry?
That's the only fight Wallin's lost.
Yeah, exactly. And we know how good Tyson Fury is. Big up yourself, Billy. Good show as always, gents. Merry Christmas to you and everyone in the stream. We're not. By the way, we're not being ignorant and not saying that. It's because we'll be back on the 24th.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll say it then. Obviously, that's the closest stream to Christmas. So obviously, we'll say it then, and that will be a Hat Show again. Be reacting to this, and I might try and get a Sheffield United fan on as well for the game. So yeah. If Villa wins and go top of the league, I know. And based on my predictions, I've said my Luton one now. I think they will be top of the league at Christmas, which is a massive achievement for them. Fair play to them. So I think they'll win tonight. I don't think it'll be as convincing as people think because, they've got Wilder in Sheffield United. If they still had Heckingbottom, I'd probably say like 3-0 Villa. But I reckon it'll be a tighter one for me. I've got 1-0. But yeah, if you miss my Premier League predictions, obviously do check them out on the community posts and obviously social medias and that. We got to Lee. She says, from the Lincoln Luton fan, I'll be there tomorrow. 4-3 Luton. Jeez. That would be a classic. That would be a classic. I'd love that. But yeah, we're actually in this chat, we're actually the favourites, which I get it. Most of us are Luton fans, but still, it's good there. Harry's predictions, Parker to beat Wilder. Jeez. I mean, I think Parker will do well. I do. I just think Wilder might catch him with that right hand. But I think, like you say, I think it'll be similar to what you said, Dan. I think it'll be where Parker will actually start off better, and then Wilder will be sort of trying to get him, and then he'll eventually will, sort of thing. I think it'll be like that. Dubois beats Miller. Yeah, you're on the same wavelength as me there.
Well, that's a shock. I think it'll be a shock.
It could very well be. It could very well be. You know, I know build-up doesn't mean anything, but, you know, it does seem like Miller is proper confident going into it. So we'll see. And then Joshua Just, yeah, same as us on that one. So, yeah. Problem with Villa for me is their away form ain't great. That's the thing. Like I say, it's not as bad as like Newcastle, for example, but it's not great. But if they can fix that up, you know, then they got a very good chance, because it's difficult to, you know, not back them when they're at home, like I say, whoever they're playing. You know, obviously I said, like, when they played Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, you know, obviously I said they beat Arsenal. They did. City, I backed them to get a draw. So yeah, it's difficult to say they'll lose a game, especially against them, you know, top teams. So yeah, it's an interesting one with them. It really is. And problem with them as well, it's not a problem. It's good, but they got the Conference League as well, haven't they? So, and we know what Unai Emery's like in European competitions. As soon as they get further, because I said it from the start, I hope they win it, and I believe they will win it. You know, he'll focus more so on that. You see that when he was obviously Arsenal didn't win the Europa League with him, but when it got to that, you know, later on stages, he was more focused with that than actually getting top four with Arsenal. So it might be a similar thing, in my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see. That's how I hope they win the Europa League. The Conference League. So yeah, that'd be heartbreaking for us for sure. Well, yeah, I could see it. If we do win, I could see it being similar to Palace, where it is a late on goal. I just could see it. Big up to Ben, Luton Town FC. Big up yourself, mate. Says big up to you guys. 2-1 Luton Town again. Another 2-1. We love that. And Merry Christmas to everyone and stay safe. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like I say, we'll be back again on the 24th. So we'll say all of that then. Parker will stop Wilder. Jeez. Couple people reckon. It might do. And you've got to think as well with Parker, to be fair. He's obviously been training. I don't think in this camp, but previously with Fury. And Fury obviously fought it 3 times, so he's clearly told him a few little things. They get on well, so you never know. He might have something up his sleeves that might work. Yeah, no, we are going to be watching that for sure. You've got to, you know, it's one of the best cards I've probably ever seen, you know, in my lifetime. Anyway, I'm not sure if you're the same, Dad.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Yeah, especially if Fury Usyk was on it as well. And yeah,
mate, could you imagine? Jeez, that'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. Yeah, obviously that fight's, what's that, 2 months away? That's February, isn't it? That fight's again, you know, that's going to be a good fight as well for sure. It's good to see that we're finally seeing these fights. Obviously, in the, you know, I suppose in the space tomorrow, everyone wants to see Joshua Wilder, but I'm sure we will still see that. Even if one of them loses, or both, I think we'll just still see it, because it's sort of the stature of the names, and the heavyweight division for me is not as good as it was once before. You know, my thoughts, people. I think Fury's still the best. I know he had that moment against Ngannou, but again, I just think, you know, he just wasn't. He underestimated him slightly, I think. But you know, Usyk, he won't be doing that, you know, for me. So we'll see. Big up to Stephen. He says, big up, guys. Sorry I'm cooking and listening in. No worries, mate. Big up yourself for tuning in. That would be interesting. I don't think we will see it. Well, I don't know. Maybe if Miller wins, to be fair, we might. You know, like you reckon, Dad, we might see it. Because, you know, they have got a bit of history, as we all know. You know, they had a little confrontation, didn't they, at the start of the week? So we'll see. Maybe. That's the only reason I hope Miller beats Dubois, even though I think Dubois beats him. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, big up to everyone. Like I say, we'll be back again with a vlog from home. Like the Forest game, like the Palace game. I think that's the only ones we've actually done in person, if I'm correct. The Man United one was obviously online. So we'll be back again. And then, like I say, Sheffield United, we've got a pretty big one planned for Boxing Day. So do make sure you tune into that one as well. And then, like I say, after that, we've got Chelsea. So that'll be a watch long. And then there'll be a watch long each month leading up to February. Obviously, this month, Chelsea. Next month we've got Burnley, which is a 7:45 kickoff on TNT Sports, and then we got Man United. Obviously, that was announced yesterday, and we're still hoping to go to the Bolton game as well together. I think the tickets come out on the 29th. But for me, obviously, I'm a not season ticket holder, as we all know, so we're going to try and go to that as well, and that means obviously a vlog for that. So yeah, big up to everyone that tuned in. We are currently on 10 likes, so big up to yourselves. As for subscribers, I think we're still over that 1,000. Oh, we've got a new subscriber in this stream, so big up to yourself. We're on 1,853 as it stands, so big up to yourselves for that. Obviously, do subscribe to the extra channel. Obviously, if you haven't already, obviously Nightbot puts it in, and obviously it's in the description. Then follow me on the socials, where I post clips and that sort of thing, Premier League predictions on there as well. Obviously Instagram, TikTok, the lot. And yeah, we will see you again tomorrow with a vlog from home. So until then, take care and peace. Hopefully we do it.